Y'all check this out. We're fixin' to take a gander at the bargain basements of the real estate world. That's right, we're talking the cheapest cribs in all the land, and you bet your biscuits they ain't in the ritziest zip codes. But hey, just 'cause these homes are cheaper than a $3 steak at a truck stop, don't mean they ain't worth a look, see? After all, us broke folks gotta live somewhere, right? Now I ain't saying these places are Mayberry, but they got their charms if you look close enough. And for those of us whose wallets are emptier than a coyote's belly, they just might be a steal. So settle in, get comfy, and let's mosey on down to the clearance section of the American dream, y'all. They ain't much to look at, but for the right buyer, they're just right. So let's get started on the cheapest states to buy a house in the United States. And we'll start with the first state on my list, Kansas. Listen, Kansas isn't for everyone. If you like beaches, nightlife, or culture, look elsewhere. But me, I like my space. And in Kansas, space is one thing you get a lot of. It's flatter than a pancake and emptier than a high school on Saturday night. Housing, though, that's cheap. How cheap? Try a median home value of $176K. That's at least $100K less than the national average. You can find decent 3-bedrooms for under $150,000 in small towns like Smith Center, the exact center of the U.S. If small town life isn't your thing, head to Olathe or Overland Park near Kansas City. You'll pay a bit more, but still well under the national median. Sure, the job market isn't the best, and outside of Kansas City, entertainment options are limited. But with housing this affordable, you can work part-time and spend your days enjoying all that open space. Stargaze at night, storm chase by day, or start your own wheat farm. The possibilities are as endless as the horizon. If you're frugal, don't mind quiet nights in, and value open spaces over crowded cities, Kansas could be paradise. And in today's world of million-dollar closets and sky-high rent, finding an affordable paradise is no small thing. Next on my list is Alabama, the heart of Dixie, where the skies are so blue. At least that's what Lynyrd Skynyrd told us. I can't confirm the sky color, but I can tell you housing is dirt cheap. You like farms? We've got farms. You like football? We've got football. You like rockets and space stuff? We've got rockets and space stuff. What we don't got is pretension. Folks around here don't put on airs or look down on you for driving a pickup truck. We say y'all and we mean it. The median home value is $141,000. For that kind of money, you can get yourself a nice little house with a wraparound porch for sipping sweet tea and watching the lightning bugs. Maybe a few acres to call your own. Rent is also ridiculously reasonable. A 1-bedroom apartment goes for around $650 a month. You can rent a whole house for under $1,000. Now that's my kind of bargain. The cost of living is 9% below the national average. Groceries, utilities, healthcare, it's all cheaper in Alabama. Your dollar stretches so far, you'll be pinching yourself to make sure you didn't take a wrong turn and end up in 1972. Look, we've got problems like any place, but we've also got Southern hospitality, natural beauty, and a low-key way of life you just can't beat. Y'all come on down now, you hear? The porch light's on and the sweet tea's cold. There's room for everyone in Alabama. Being a cheapskate, I've always had a soft spot for states where I can get more bang for my buck. Arkansas and Mississippi fit the bill if you're looking to pinch pennies on a place to call home. Next on my list is Arkansas. Arkansas, the natural state, has some of the lowest costs of living in the country. Housing is dirt cheap, especially once you get out of Little Rock. We're talking under $100K for a decent house in some towns. Property taxes are laughably low too. The state's also gorgeous, with the Ozark Mountains, Blanchard Springs Caverns, and Hot Springs National Park. Sure, the job market's not great and the schools could be better, but for the budget conscious, you could do a lot worse. Next on my list is Mississippi. Mississippi's the poorest state in the country, but for those on a strict budget, it has a certain appeal. Housing costs barely anything, especially away from Jackson and the Gulf Coast. Property taxes are peanuts. The weather's balmy most of the year, perfect for enjoying the outdoors without spending a dime. Culture, food, nightlife, look elsewhere. But if your priority is paying as little as possible to keep a roof over your head, Mississippi will fit the bill. Schools and healthcare also rank at the bottom, but beggars can't be choosers, right? For the frugal-minded, Arkansas and Mississippi prove you don't have to pay through the nose for a place to call home. Sure, you may have to sacrifice some amenities, but for rock-bottom living costs, these two states can't be beat. If low prices are your top concern in a new place to live, look no further than America's budget-friendliest options down south. Next on my list is West Virginia. I was born and raised in the great state of West Virginia, affectionately known as wild and wonderful. Look, I'll be honest, we've got some issues. Our economy isn't great, our infrastructure needs work, and health outcomes could be better. But for what it's worth, you really can't beat the natural beauty. We've got the Appalachian Mountains, the New River Gorge, and more winding back roads than you can shake a stick at. If you're looking for cheap houses, you've come to the right place. The median home value in West Virginia is a paltry $119,000. You can find a decent 3-bedroom house for under $75,000 in some parts. Of course, you get what you pay for. Some of these places may need a new roof or lack modern amenities. But with some elbow grease, you can transform one of these fixer-uppers into a cozy homestead. The job market isn't fantastic, but the low cost of living helps make up for it. We've got mining, tourism, and government jobs, but you'll likely commute to a larger town. The schools need improvement, and the infrastructure is crumbling in places. But we've got heart, soul, and natural beauty in spades. There's no place quite like the Mountain State. If you're an outdoorsy type who appreciates solitude and isn't afraid of a little hard work, West Virginia just might steal your heart. The people are friendly, the pace is slow, and the scenery will take your breath away. They don't call us almost heaven for nothing, folks. Overall, West Virginia ain't perfect. But for the budget-conscious home buyer, it's hard to beat. So there you have it, folks. The cheapest states to buy a house in the good old USA. Now I know some of y'all are turning up your noses at these backwater burgs, but hey, don't be too quick to judge. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, as they say, and one person's armpit is another person's paradise. If you're willing to overlook a little ugliness, you just might find your dream home sweet home. And if you do set down stakes in one of these thrifty towns, be sure to drop me a line and let me know how it goes. I'll be over here in sunny, overpriced California, living vicariously through you while trying to scrounge up enough scratch for a down payment on a tool shed. So take a chance, have an adventure, and happy bargain hunting, friends. The American dream awaits.